That's funny. This thing wasn't even on.
Can you guys hear us now?
All right. Tell me.
Step over here so it's away from the mic.
Yeah, Stoney. There we go.
Oh, oh,
I heard that.
I heard that.
There we go.
Oh,
I heard that.
I heard that.
We're back. And for some of you, we're here. Now, on Instagram, you heard. Okay, wait. Now, this is going to get on my nerves.
Yeah.
All right. On Instagram, we gave our full introduction. Now we're back and we can actually have a really good conversation. So, you guys didn't hear our introduction. It was really long. Stoney,
And a lot.
yeah, he gave
Greatness
Stone.
personified myself, King Kevyn. Really, really long thing. Everybody knows. Hey, y'all, we know why y'all here. So, hey, welcome back.
So, real quick, just to give you guys an idea of what we're talking about today, we're going to be talking about Netflix Wendy Williams, and the Bad Boys Club.
Oh yeah.
So let's start with Netflix. So I don't know if you maybe heard that they're raising their prices to $20 a month now. It's like it went from like $6.99 to like 10 something or 11 something to 12 to now 20. And yeah, I was kind of upset about that part, but they went a little further with it now. So they're saying that they are going to start penalizing people for sharing their password. So like if you got a Netflix account and I'm using it and then Devontae's using it and then Hayden's using it and then that, they're going to charge you for each person using your password. I think it's something like $6 or something like that.
Per person?
Per person.
Well, how many?
Because they want to discourage the idea, and they probably will raise it more. But their plan is to stop people from sharing. They want every person watching Netflix to have an account of their own, paying $20 a month.
Every single individual.
Yes, they don't no freebies.
So not even for a family, like.
So I'm guessing like
that.
There might be something where you're in the same house, but I'm guessing they'll go off your Wi-Fi router IP or whatever that is. So they can tell it's all within the same space.
What's the point of having it on your phone? Because obviously your IP is going to be different.
That's true.
You're accessing it from your phone, because your IP is determined by the tower that you're drawing from.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I just think that it's a greedy way to squeeze more money out of people. First off, Netflix was the leading streaming site for so long.
Well, let's be real. Netflix was early to the streaming game. Mm-hmm. All right, they were very, very early to the streaming game. Netflix started out as a DVD service, where you would literally get, instead of having to go to Blockbuster, right, and get your video and stuff like that, you would just click videos that you would like, and then they would come to you, and you could hold them for however long you wanted.
Right.
Like, there was no late fees, and you could send them back, and whenever you sent it back, you got another DVD from,
Then at some point it went up to like 5 or 6 DVDs you can get at a time.
Yeah, and they were only charging like $5.
Right. It was the perfect situation.
And then it was like, oh, if you pay us like X amount of dollars more, you can you can watch certain stuff online, like directly from your devices and stuff like that. And so that was pretty cool, because I remember getting Netflix, but also watching Netflix online back when I was in my old relationship.
But that's when it started rolling out to be a streaming service.
Right.
It was exciting.
And it was very, very early. Like I'm talking, this was like 2007, 2008. Like, very, very early in the game.
Now, with that being said, on my TV right now, you see the Roku little logo flowing down the TV. You have Roku, BET, Paramount, HBO. You have Hulu, Prime, Amazon Prime. The list goes on. Everyone has, even YouTube has a live TV thing now. Yeah, so everybody's streaming. I feel like, and this is my opinion, Netflix is like, okay, we're not the only ones in the game. Hell, I don't even think they're leading in the game at this point. So it's like, how can we make as much money as we can? And I feel like, there's no need in trying to compete on that level. And let's talk about how Netflix was banging out some dope series. Like some of the Netflix original series were dope. But now when you're competing with Paramount, when you're competing with HBO, Showtime, when you're competing with all these other, the mouse, I didn't even want to get on that one yet. I purposely excluded it for a reason, because the mouse is taking over. The mouse has taken, and it's crazy because I think the biggest thing about the mouse is Star Wars and Marvel.
Yeah.
And
they knew what they were doing. They knew when
because ain't nobody buying Disney Plus to watch Mickey Mouse.
They knew when they acquired those properties. Yes, and as popular as Ilsa is, you know what I mean?
Right.
Encanto, you know what I mean? We don't talk about Bruno, like, you know what I mean? Whatever. You know what I mean? But like, hey, all those are great. But what's driving people to Disney Plus is definitely, the the Marvel universe,
The
stuff like
geeks.
that. Like, yeah,
us geeks are taking over, and again, Disney knows that, they understand that, and they're cashing in on that.
it is so cool to be into geeky things now,
And
like Star Wars and Star Trek. And,
Yeah,
you know, because Paramount's blowing up with the Star Trek, you know what I mean, and everything that they're doing with that. Yeah.
So, but that being said, I feel like some of the better content that I'll watch is outside of Netflix. So you guys aren't providing me with the best content. Like, you got good content, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but some of the
content.
best movies or some of the best series aren't on Netflix.
And they're trying. Netflix is really trying, to be honest with you.
They're good at what they do, but people are just doing it better.
Well, no, what it is that I think what it is that Netflix right now is relying on a lot of producers and content creators that a lot of networks have decided that they're not worth all the money that Netflix is willing to pay them. In particular, Shonda Rhimes is with Netflix. Inventing Anna was awesome. All right,
I didn't watch it, but I gotta watch it because I saw the preview for that.
Inventing Anna was awesome.
Based on a true story.
Yeah, bits and pieces of it are true. Yeah. And then you had, what was the other show that she's doing right now? Bridgerton is blowing up. Like, to be honest.
So yeah, Netflix is smart on that
Shonda Rhimes show.
Yes.
Black lady killing it. Lady who wrote How to Get Away with Murder, Scandal,
Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy, yes. What's that
Something
other show
else
that spun off of Grey's Anatomy? I forgot what it was, but that show too. Like, so Shonda Rhimes got some Hollywood chops. And then you also have the two guys behind Game of Thrones, Weiss and something. I don't know.
Some other guy.
But the guys that were behind Game of Thrones are now with Netflix as well. So it is, you know, they have some good, talented people there. But, you know, it's a matter of them honestly sticking with a series long enough. Because the one thing about Netflix, and I think that Netflix really has to understand this as a company, is that you start off making a lot of good TV shows, and then you cancel them very prematurely. When know Sabrina was canceled prematurely.
Oh yes. Yeah.
No reason why that show should have been canceled. That show had at least 3 more good seasons.
I agree.
You know,
they also rushed the story. I feel like they rushed that story.
Yeah. And Netflix dropped the ball with that. There was another series that they canceled all willy-nilly for no reason. Like, and it was drawing a lot of people. Which, I don't know.
One way or another.
But they do have a tendency to pull the plug on shows rather quickly.
You know, I think their thing has become more of, let's pump out as much as possible instead of focus on creating something of quality and keeping that going.
Glow. The show about Glow, it's about women wrestlers. And like it's
that was good.
Yeah, no, it was actually a very good show.
Wasn't one of the girls from Orange Is the New Black in there?
I don't. Probably. I don't watch Orange Is the New Black, to be honest.
Oh, I mean, that show was off. They haven't created any new seasons of that. It's good. That was another good show. Even though you didn't watch it, that was
I saw a couple episodes. It seemed very riveting, but it wasn't my cup of tea.
But to get to the point with Netflix, you guys were onto something. You guys are straying away from that, and you guys are becoming more of a robot than a company that is here for the people. And you guys are about to be dumped into that whole bucket of companies that I am like pushing to the side, because I'm ready to cancel my subscription pretty soon, and I'll just have to use someone else's password.
Ding.
So moving on to our next topic, is someone we just got finished talking about a week or 2 weeks ago. Miss Wendy Williams is in the news again. Or she put her own business out. She got on a live.
Yes.
And she was talking about how her it wasn't her attorney. So someone that's in charge of her estate is working with Wells. Yeah, well, it's her people her ex people and Wells Fargo.
Her old manager, who she fired apparently.
Yes.
And apparently they're working with, Bank of America
Wells Fargo.
or Wells Fargo. I'm sorry, Bank of America. Don't come after us. But allegedly.
Thank you.
Allegedly,
Why do we, whenever we talk about Wendy Williams, you have to say allegedly?
Allegedly. All right. So, like, allegedly, they're they're saying that she's an incapacitated person who's not of sound mind,
right,
and who needs to have like a custodian of some sort,
right,
to handle and
because she,
do
there's
things.
a movie. Ironically, I believe it's on Netflix. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's like this woman, her job was scamming the elderly and saying, well, your doctor gave us a note stating that you're not in a good enough state of mind to take care of yourself. So we're taking over as your legal custodians, and we're going to control everything for you. Then they put these people in these homes, dope them up on medicine so that they are senile for real, and take all their money.
Yep.
And now, this was a movie on Netflix. I believe it was on Netflix like a year or two ago. And ironically, this is happening to Wendy Williams. And what's funny, it's not funny at all, but the ironic thing is, in the movie, there was like this lady had a son, and he was trying to get a hold of his mom, and it was like, oh no, you're not fit enough to take care of your mother, so we're going to do it. And I'm wondering, like, what? I know she's divorced from Kevin Hunter, but how come her son don't have access to that stuff to where someone else has to take care of her? Because at some point she must have been in some health crisis where she was not able to,
right,
or deemed unfit to take care of herself on that level,
right.
Which is kind of sad to me, because I'm not a fan of Wendy, but I don't wish anyone anything ill.
You would think that naturally in situations, and even if it's not expressed, written in writing and everything, that in moments where a parent is not, of sound mind, or even in a situation to handle things, that you would think that the children would be able to step in.
Right.
And that typically has to be legally set up, because.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's up with the whole next of kin situation?
Right. It works. It always works going down.
Right.
Apparently it doesn't go the other way.
What do you mean?
Like up, unless there's writing. You know what I mean?
Right. So the way I'm understanding what you're saying is, like, if something happened to me, if I had children, it would go down to my children. It would not go up to my mom. Is that what you're saying?
No. So you have power of attorney, like, over your kids and stuff like that. So, like, if something happened to them and they weren't married and stuff like that, they're coming to you to handle everything. You know what I mean? Whereas if something happened to you, you know what I mean, unless you expressly written it out, you know what I mean, that your kids are supposed to handle things, they typically don't. You know what I mean? They'll do a lot of stuff, but they'll include the children afterwards.
That's interesting. Because honestly, I just always think of it, if something happened to my mom, I'm going to take care of my mom. If she left anything over, whenever she passes, God forbid, anytime soon, but like basically what she has would just trickle down to me and my siblings, and then after us would be my nieces and nephews. It really, I never imagined that it would go the opposite way, though, because that's what it sounds like you're saying. It's going the opposite way.
It's weird, but it's easier that way. It's weird.
Yeah, I guess so. It's a little easier, I think. It can get complicated. I can see how, but one way or another, I would think that
you would think that her son would want to step up and try to help mom out and stuff like that. But who knows?
Maybe
what their dynamic is.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he is.
Maybe he is. Maybe